Are you ready for July's supply challenge? As you can see, I've got my watercolours out, and I thought this month we would do things that are a little bit different. Let's have a go at watercolouring. Let's have a look at some different mediums that we can use in our journals. Hello everybody, it's Edwina from My Craft Orchard. How are you? Right, let me show you what I've got in front of me. So the first things are water pens. So these two have actually, this bit here has got water in, and I've got a if you can see it, a thick tip on that one, sort of like a broad one, and then this one is quite a fine one. Both of them have got water in. Now this one is an empty one, and I can't remember which one of these I had. One of these I had from under the rowan tree. I also bought a pack off Amazon of different nib types. And so what happens is you've got a lid, and this is your brush here. There's no water in this one. So you've got your brush at the front, and then you unscrew it and the water goes in to the barrel, and then you screw it back up and you actually squeeze this section. It actually says push on this pen. You squeeze that, which pushes the water out to the tip. I think these are brilliant, particularly if you're just sat at your desk and you think, oh, I want a bit of colour on a page, because they're already full of water and they're sitting on my desk. Then I could just grab one and off we go. Done. So those are my water pens. The other thing I've got is my cow. Now this is a flannel that I have dedicated to watercolour painting. What does Robin from Talks from the Heart, she calls it her rainbow rag. When she's watercolouring, she calls this her rainbow rag. I just love that. So what I've then also got is a selection. So this is a sewing tin, and in here I've got some watercolours, and I've actually put a magnet on the bottom of them, and so they, because this is a tin, they stick in, so they shouldn't fall out. And I haven't used this tin for 18 months, I suppose, but I've kept it because I love it. In here I've got some pans, these here that I actually filled myself out of tubes. I've got some Winsor Newton, magnets go off the bottom of that one. Winsor Newton watercolours, which are amazing, I have to say. And then these came out of a travel kit that I had. I can't remember what they are, but I will link them down below. These two came from under the rowan tree as part of their some of their sub boxes that they've had. So as you can see, I haven't used them, so I'm looking forward to swatching those. And then these are some metallic ones. Again, I cannot remember where they're from, but I will link it all below. All these paints that I'm showing you, I'll link down below. And then here at the top, I've actually swatched them all, and they're all in. So this purple here is this one here. They're Artist Loft, so they're out of Hobbycraft, and they come in a tube. And I bought the little pans, these little pans out off Amazon. I got a whole bag of them, and I was able to fill that up myself. Winsor Newton, and then Bic Bock. So that was the kit that they came out of, and they came in a nice tin. Now, one of the mystery boxes that Under the Rowan Tree was doing contained this watercolour pocket box from Art Creations, and this is it here. This is what it came. So it's a nice white tray, and then you've got like areas here for mixing, a brush, which is a pull-out brush. There's a piece of yeah, sponge there, and then the paint. Now you can probably see the plastic still on these, so all I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pull that plastic off. Just bear. Oh look, the pan's come out, look. So when they're half full, you can replace them with other ones. That's really good, that is. Let me just take this plastic off. That was all sticky, yuck. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use: water pens, the watercolours themselves, and my rainbow rag. What am I actually going to paint onto? That's the next question. So what have I got that I'm going to have do some painting in? So the first thing I've got is a pre-printed planner. Now this is from Paper Chase, which unfortunately has closed down, but I've got a few pages in here. I've tipped some of them, I've Tipp-Ex'd out because I was writing on them, using it as notepad, but here there's still some lines. Where are we now? Beginning of July. Yeah, I was using it as I started using it as like a meal planner type thing, and I was planning out various things. So it's one of those that I sort of just scribble in, because they aren't, to be honest, I'm not really quite sure what I'm doing with it. So let's use that first page there, because I don't think, even if I do use it for meal planning. So this is quite smooth paper, so we're going to see how that takes the watercolours. The second one is a notebook from the Travellers. It's not an official Traveller's Notebook note, but it's one that came with one. And again, the paper on this is quite smooth. It's nice to write on, but it's quite smooth. And with this one, as you can see, I've been sticking bits of washi tape and scrapbook paper in there. So I thought it might be nice to have a go at doing a bit of watercolour on that one. And then this one is my Gretel Creates bullet journal for July. And what I've done is I've actually gone through and I've post-it noted up sections. By the time you see this video, this will be set up, and this is part of my setup. I want to watercolour on it. So that's my month there. But I think what I'm going to do before that is I'm going to test the watercolours in the back of the book. A bit like a pen test. So one of the things I do when I am in sort of a watercolour mode, as it were, is when I pen test, I also test the watercolours as well. So let's start with this one. This is the pre-printed one. Now please don't expect extreme fanciness. I am no artist. I will never be an artist. What I do is I just doodle, I splodge, whatever. I certainly, you know, you're not going to get a painted flower that looks amazing here in front of me. It's just not going to happen. So I've got my ink. I'm going to use the broad one to start with. Let me just show you. So I've got this, and there's actually water dripping out of it because I've given it a squeeze. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze a cup, just one drop, because that's quite big, onto there, and then I'm going to use my brush. Now the trick with watercolours is not to put too much water on your page. It's as simple as that. The pages, when they're in notebooks, they will not hold a lot of water. So if it's too wet, that's why you've got your rainbow rag. So let's just see. Ooh, that's a pretty colour, isn't it? Ooh, that's like a shimmer. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of just running it over as thin as I can, like that. Not putting too much water on at all. And if it, that's it. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Ooh, I do like that colour, I have to say. Love the colour. Now, I don't know whether you can see this on camera. What I'm now going to do is I'm just going to push the clean water out of here through the nib to sort of give it a clean. And sometimes it's worth having like a palette next to you just to see, yeah, that's clean water now. So what I want to show you is I've just put that on. As you can see, I didn't use hardly any water. And if I just tip it up, you might be able to see that the paper's now crunkled. I don't know whether you can see. Oh yeah, there we go. The paper's now sort of buckled and crumpled. And once that's dried out, that's how it will stay. It won't be flat anymore. So what I will say is, if you don't like paper that sort of becomes textured when you're using it, do not watercolour on it. Because the water, even though I've only used a tiny amount, it will buckle the paper and it makes it a bit more crinkly, and I actually really like that. Some people don't. What I would do is I would get an old, like sort of like maybe a traveller's notebook or something like that, just an old notebook, and just give it a go. Okay, now that's actually dried really fast and I really like that. Now the only problem with this particular one, which is why you need to try this, is actually the paint's come through to the other side. So the paper in this isn't holding the paint very well. That's okay. It's a notebook that I'm writing menu ideas and doing menu planning in. So to me, that just doesn't matter. If this was my journal, again, to me, that I wouldn't mind that, because I quite like the little bit of pop of colour on the other side as well. So that's nice, and I really like that paint. That's a new one. I've managed to swatch that. Okay, so that was the first one. Now the second one, I'm going to have a go with this one, and I'm going to use the slightly smaller brush for this one. And I think I'm going to go, because there's a lot of pink and stuff in here, so let's have a go with this new pink one. Again, I think there's drops of water already. Let's have a go. That's very subtle, but again, it's got a real shimmer to it. Oh, I like that. And the truth is, this is all I do. I just go over a page and just squiggle paint onto it. Oh, I like that. That is really pretty. The pink, when you're looking at it straight on, you can just sort of like see the goldy effect, but if you sort of move it up like that, it's got that real subtleness to it. That's really nice. I like that. Again, new paint. Tried it out, love it. Right then, so as you can see, I just get a pen and just put it all over. So that's that one. Let's try this new one from Gretel Creates, and let's have a go. See what the paint, because this is actually a thicker one. You can hear how thick that is. And I'm going to try these new paints from this art creation box. What colour shall I go with? Have they got numbers on there? No, it doesn't actually tell you. Oh, does it tell you the name? No, just the numbers. Just the numbers. Let's go with a navy. So I'm just going to just drop just a tiny bit of water onto the top of there. That's a little bit much, but we'll see. And I'm just going to almost like that. Okay, first thing, this one didn't buckle like the first one, so it must be slightly thicker paper, but it has slightly buckled on the back, so there's a little bit of texture on the back of the page, but the paint didn't go through. But there is a little bit of buckling, but nothing major, not like that one has. That must be a thinner paper. Now this is a thick paper. The paint hasn't come through, and it also, the water has affected the page. I didn't expect it not to, but it's holding up. It's not too like that, if you know what I mean. There's a technical term that is for paper. So yeah, I think paint in this journal is gonna be great. Now if you want to see more of my painting in this particular journal, I'm using this for One Book July. It's a bullet journal that I'm using throughout the whole of July, so make sure that you check that video out. I think this is going to be great, really do. I'm quite excited for this. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you're going to join in the challenge. Don't forget, we're on Instagram. Comment down below telling me, are you doing the challenge? Are you going to get your watercolours out and have a look? During the month, I'm hoping to get some other different medium as well. Let's see what else there is that will go in these journals. You know, maybe some different pens and things to just brighten that page. As you see, nice white page, bit of colour, makes me want to use it. Great. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.